welcome to Dublin. We're going to be walking around Grafton Street today and some of the off streets, some of the side streets, tell you a few stories, have a lot of fun. Who's on here today, folks? Let me see if we have any names in here. Let me go to the live chat. I don't see any. I see a few names, 5 people are on, but I don't see any names as of yet. Hi there, Catherine, how are you? Good to see you. How's things? How are you keeping? You're the only one saying hello to me so far. We're going to make our way here in just a second to, wow, very few people on, 5 people. It's hopefully we'll have some more people join us. Poppy, how are you? Good to see you. How's things? Hope you're well. Hope everybody's doing good. Catherine and Poppy is on. Natalie, good to see you. Natalie, how are you? Welcome. Okay, we're getting there, folks. We're getting some more people on, which is it's all good. Hopefully a few more will skip on here in a minute. But the weather is so changeable right here in Dublin. 1 minute it's raining, next minute it's lovely and sunny. Then 10 minutes later it'll be windy, then rain again, then sunny again. So you don't know whether to put on your overcoat or anything. You just don't know what to do. So folks, we're making our way. Natalie, good day. Got a new job. Hope you're okay as well. Great. Well done, Natalie. That's fantastic. Alison, how are you? Good to see you. So what we're doing right here, folks, we're approaching, or where we're going, I should say, we're approaching the #1 most visited statue in all of Dublin. And this is the Molly Malone statue. And I'll tell you a little bit about the story of Molly Malone. Molly Malone was a fishmonger, and she wheeled her wheelbarrow through the streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Molly Malone was around here in the 1600s. As I say, by day she was a fishmonger, and she was also a lady of the night. Some say she was just selling fish during the day to advertise her business at night. Now, she died of a fever on the 13th of June, 1699, and the 13th of June each year is Molly Malone Day here in Dublin. And there's a famous song about Molly Malone, and it's the unofficial Dublin anthem. And it goes something like this. Now, I can't sing, but I'll attempt to. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. Hi, Satmiam, how are you? As she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow. Now, you see these people holding her or putting their hand on their breast, because superstition has it, folks, that if you touch her breast, you'll have good luck for the rest of the day. That's a superstition anyway. And Dublin people, or Irish people in general, but mostly Dublin people, have a little bit of a slang for everything. And in this case, they will say that Molly Malone, here she is, the tart with the cart, or the dish with the fish, or the trollop with the scallop. We have a bit of music going on here, folks. This area of Dublin is known for its buskers. This young lady, nice singer. They're only allowed to play for about an hour or so, and then the next musician comes on. So the guy behind her is getting ready to set up. He'll be the next musician on board. It's nice there. So let's take you through the streets here of Dublin, folks. Grafton Street, Dublin's most fashionable street. This is a great pub right here beside the Molly Malone statue. It's called O'Neill's. It dates back to the late 1700s. Fantastic Irish traditional music here as well. It's really, really terrific. And great food. If you're ever in Dublin and you want to get a nice Irish stew, this is the place to come, folks. Full of tradition, great pub. Old traditional pub, as I said. Hi, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. Who else am I missing? Natalie, Satyam's on. Alison, how are you? Susan, hey Susan. Susan's on, and Susan's coming to Dublin at the end of August through to the first week in September. And she's going to come on a walking tour with me that day as well. So looking forward to seeing Susan coming in late August as we walk down Suffolk Street, as this is known as, and come to the corner of Grafton Street in just a little bit. You'll see over here to my left, looking forward to it, says Susan, great stuff. You'll see over to the left, we've got a very famous store here in Dublin called Avoca. And Avoca, they're hand weavers. and it dates back their factory, or their manufacturing factory, in a little village called Avoca in County Wicklow, and it dates back to like 1738. And they're hand weavers making Irish linen, all kinds of great Irish products. But today they're all over the place, and they're stores or shops, if you like. As you can see there, Avoca mill hand weavers, accessories, jewellery, bath and beauty, gifts, to do food, everything. They're all over the place here now in Ireland, throughout loads of tourist attraction locations as well. Highly successful. Not owned by the Pratt family. They used to own the Avoca. Now it's owned by the big American corporation, whose name, what's it called? Aramark. They own everything. They're the biggest catering company in the world, I believe. So here we are, folks. We're making it onto Grafton Street, Dublin's most fashionable street. It's also known for its buskers. Lots of musicians, and we got some musicians right here. These guys are very good. I think this is what's the name of the... I forget the name of the group. What is the name of this group again? Jeez, I know them well. It's a place in Florida, named after a place in Florida.
Thank you very much.
It's actually very good. Key West. Key West in Florida, yeah, that's what they're named after.
This next song is Electric Love, but while I introduce it, if anybody would like to take away our music, now would be a good time. If you just want to pop on over to Glover here. Remember, it is only 20 for all three.
We don't have time to listen to them, folks, sorry. So many places to show you.
So as I said
so
before,
little time.
it's all original music.
So as I say, this is Dublin's most fashionable street. You see right over here to the right, we have Weir's Jewellers. They're by far and away the most prominent and the most famous jewellery store in Dublin. Dates back to 1869. All designer jewellery in this particular shop. And 20% of their business is done by Chinese tourists. Supposedly designer jewellery and designer products in China is through the roof, costs an absolute fortune. That's why they come to places like Dublin and they buy up a huge amount of stock, if you like. They even send young ladies over here with a credit card from China to buy up a lot of the designer jewellery here. This business right here, Brown Thomas, this is probably Ireland's answer to Macy's, or what's the other one, Saks Fifth Avenue, or else Harrods in London. It's got 4 floors, and there's over 100 of the world's best known designer stores under the one roof. Hugely expensive, but all quality products. Been around since 1849 right here in Dublin. Used to be owned by Galen Weston, a Canadian who died there about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago maybe. And it's now owned by, I think it's a corporation from Thailand or whatever. We're now on Wicklow Street. We're going to zigzag in and out of Grafton Street for all of this tour. But I wanted to show you this pub right here, very, very famous pub called Mary's Bar. And the reason why I want to show you this is because this is not just a pub. It dates back to 1820, but it's not just a pub, but it's also a hardware store and a grocery store. It's one of the few that are left in the country right now. And back in the day, this would have been a place where the ladies would have come to do their shopping while the men have a pint. The ladies might have a half a pint, or a glass as we call it, half pint of Guinness, while they did their shopping for their groceries and so forth. And you know, they wouldn't want to have too much to drink because they might forget their groceries or their hardware products. So Mary's Bar, dating back to 1820, still going strong and still sells hardware products and grocery products. Quite remarkable. If you look over here, you'll see McDonald's. Why am I showing you McDonald's, or this particular McDonald's? Is because this was the first ever McDonald's here in Ireland, dating back to 1977. There's McDonald's, there's probably 1,000 McDonald's all across Ireland today, to this day. But this one is probably still, the very first one is probably still the most busy McDonald's in all of Ireland. It's just packed all day long. In fact, if I ever want to get something to eat in Dublin, there's no point coming here. You wait a half an hour at least to get your food. So you have to go somewhere else, off the beaten track, not on the street. Okay, we're going to make our way through Grafton Street right here. As you can see, the huge crowds. It is summertime, so a lot of tourists about. Also, a lot of locals. This is a street where people would frequent a lot, as it is a fabulous spot. Now here's my buddy Shane right here, folks. Say hello to Shane. Hi Shane. Shane's the concierge here of Brown Thomas. Brown Thomas is, say, the Dublin signature store, if you like. And Shane is the concierge right here. And he's also a tour guide as well. He actually did a tour guiding course with me a good few years ago now. And he gives people directions, tell them where the best places to go, the best places to visit, all the different tourist attractions and so forth as well. And this guy even sings and dances as well. If you can look him up on YouTube, Shane Murphy with Brown Thomas doing his dance. Yeah, there you go. Look, he's doing some moves right there, isn't he? Unbelievable. Huh? What a mover, what a mover. Look at this. I think he's a rapper as well. Shane, are you a rapper? Or are you more classical? What?
If she's fast enough.
If she's what?
If she's fast enough.
If she's fast enough. He's a rapper if she's fast enough. I don't get that. That's over my head, Shane. But anyway, Shane is such a gentleman. Love meeting. So Paddy's on, and Paddy met you. She's from Canada. She took a picture with you. You remember meeting her, yeah? Paddy, Shane is saying hello to you. And yes, indeed. So Paddy, just for all you guys, Paddy was here in June. We had a great time. We walked around Dublin City, did a little bit of a tour, and we had a few drinks, herself and her sister Mary as well. And then we also had dinner. Paddy treated me to a beautiful dinner. Absolutely amazing. Thanks very much, Paddy. Great to see you on here. Good to see everybody. Hi, Mister, says Natalie. You're Mister.
Mister. Okay.
Mister. Well, as long as you didn't say Mrs. Okay, we'll see you later, Shane. This is M&S. You're probably familiar with this this company. They're an English company, Marks and Spencer's. They're probably over 200 years old. They have quite a large shop right here on Grafton Street. Good to see you too. Hold on a second. I've got to read the chat here, folks. Good to see you too. It was much fun. Until next time, yes indeed. Now we're going to go on to this street right here. It's called Duke Street. I have a few stories to tell, but not on this street, but just to tell you a little bit of information. So this is Duke Street. All the streets off of Grafton Street is where all the pubs are, all the bars, and they're all really, really famous because they're known as literary pubs. So an awful lot of the Irish literature folks throughout the centuries have drank in these establishments, especially this one here, Davy Byrne's. Davy Byrne's was made famous by James Joyce's book Ulysses, when the lead character Leopold Bloom came here for his gorgonzola sandwich and his glass of Burgundy while sitting at the bar talking to Davy Byrne. Davy Byrne, the owner, previous owner. This would have actually, he bought it in 1889. So this pub dates back, I think, around to 1840. Davy Byrne bought it in 1889, and so made famous by Ulysses, one of the chapters in the book. He came right here. Now I want to bring you down to another great pub right in this street, named after the street, the Duke Pub, the Duke Bar, right here. And this establishment has one of the greatest tours in all of Dublin, and it's known as the Literary Pub Crawl Tour. It's run by a couple of actors, and these actors will, on the first floor right there, you see the windows above the Duke, where it says the Duke. That's where it takes place. And for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the tour, they act out scenes to different books and so forth, different chapters, different books, Ulysses and other books, Irish books by Irish authors and so forth. And then they move on and they go to 5 other literary pubs, and they end up back in Davy Byrne's, the pub I just showed you. It is one of the great tours of Dublin. It's inexpensive. It's only about €15 to go on this tour, but it really is fabulous. These actors that run it, the tour guides / actors, are highly entertaining. It's great fun. If you come to Dublin, so Susan, I highly recommend it. If you come to Dublin, you're come to Dublin. So if you want to go on that tour, it's great. The Literary Pub Crawl Tour. Have a look. Named in honour of James Joyce's classic Ulysses. So Ulysses Rare Book Shop, or Rare Book Store. So there you go. Now, we're moving on back through Duke Street. And I want to show you this really modern shop right here. So you got new and old side by side, like Davy Byrne's dates back to 1840. So is the Duke around the 1800s. But here's a very, very modern shop right here called the Duchess. For all you ladies, it's all in pink. And this is a a nail salon. Or a beauty salon if you like. I think they do everything but hair. Nails, feet, everything else. Duchess, how about that? Isn't it beautiful? All pink for you ladies. Pretty in Pink. That was a great movie. Anybody see that movie? I'll look into it, Susan. Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink. What's the name? Who was in that? Here's another great bar right here, literary bar. The Bailey. Excuse me. It's been modernised. Oh, I need a glass of water. Something went wrong down my throat. I don't know what it was. I'll be all right. You'll see all the designer shops on this store. Yep. Molly Ringwald's, that's right. Pretty in Pink. Molly Ringwald's. Good old movie. Yeah, Molly. So we see Molly Malone, and now we're talking about Molly Ringwald. What a coincidence. Two Mollys. The Flogging Mollys. Anybody ever heard of them? The Flogging Mollys? They're a Celtic rock group from California, from Los Angeles. Play all Celtic rock. They're a great band. Flogging Mollys. Stop at a pub. Susan, can't do that. We don't have time for that. I'm going to stop at a pub after I finish this tour. So, the most famous landmark on all of this particular street is Beauty's Oriental Cafe. They've been around since 1840. This particular branch of Beauty's has been here since 1913. And this is an absolute... This is Jimmy about to start music here. Jimmy Cutter. 4 o'clock he's going to start playing. For a drink for you. Oh, sorry, Susan. I know what you mean now. Sorry, yeah. So Beauty's is an absolute... You're all right, ladies. Don't worry about me. If you're in the shop, who cares? So Beauty's Oriental Cafe. It was the Beauty family were Quakers from England. They came over here, as I said, they established the very first coffee shop here in Dublin in 1840. This one is, as you can see, Beauty's 1840 right there. This particular establishment dates back to 1913. What's really unique about this coffee shop, this cafe, if you like, is a couple of reasons. You can have a nice lunch here, and after your lunch you can go upstairs because they have a theatre. So you can watch a play for a couple of hours after your dinner. It's also renowned for its stained glass. So Ireland's greatest ever stained glass artist was a man by the name of Harry Clark. And Harry Clark, most of his stained glass you can see in all the churches around Ireland. And absolutely fantastic work. But they have stained glass here. It's been here for about 120 years in this establishment. Beautiful stained glass from Harry Clark right at the back of this establishment. So while you're having lunch, you can admire the beautiful stained glass windows. Now, another thing about the Beauties, in the 1970s, the Beauties turned this establishment over to their staff, where they made all of their staff members shareholders or stockholders. So you could have come here for your breakfast or your dinner, and the waitress or the waiter serving you would have been part owner of the establishment. I think that was just absolutely fabulous of the Beauty family to do that. They made everybody a shareholder or stockholder. That's all changed now. It's not owned by the Beauty family anymore. It's owned by a family called the Campbells. But an Irish institution. Because at one time, and I even remember it myself, if you were to come around Dublin City during the 1970s even, if you were looking for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, you had two choices. Beauty's or none. It was either here or nowhere, because there was no coffee shops. So this is the very first one. And today, there is an absolute plethora of coffee shops throughout Dublin. In fact, supposedly we're the second biggest coffee drinkers in the world per capita. So I don't know if that's true or not, but they say we are. And obviously now that's per head of population. So massive coffee drinkers, and you'll see coffee shops on every corner, on every street corner as you walk through here. Now, Susan's mentioned to me earlier in an email she sent me about coming over here. that will I show her the umbrella. So there's a street up here. This is St. Anne's Street. You'll see in the distance this beautiful, beautiful church. Have a look at it, folks. This is St. Anne's Church, dating back to 1707. Bram Stoker, the great author, the author of Dracula, he was married in this church to a lady called Frances Balcom, who at one time was the girlfriend of Oscar Wilde. How about that? Beautiful church, Anglican church. So I'm bringing you along here to show you this. The comments are not coming in, folks, so I'm not sure if you're all still there or what. It's very late on YouTube. It's very late the way the comments come in. Somebody say hello or put a thumb up so I know you're all still there, because as I say, I'm not seeing the comments. So this is especially for Susan and for any of you other guys here as well. This is the street. Okay, Noddy, thanks. Still here. Okay, Poppy, thank you. Paddy, hello, great stuff. So Susan, you wanted to see this? This is the street with the umbrellas right here. This is a new phenomenon, if you like, or fashion. You see in most cities today, they have streets with the umbrellas, the different colour umbrellas. This one's particularly nice, I really like it. Pity it wasn't sunnier, you'd be able to see it in a better light. It's very cloudy, the weather is so changeable at the moment. You don't know what you're going to get from one day to the next. So anyway, let's move on. Straight in front of you, you'll see this. As I said, all these pubs off of Grafton Street on the side streets. There is no pubs on the main street. There may be one or two, but that's about it. Captain America's have a pub, obviously it's a restaurant pub. But they're all off the side streets, and they're all really, really famous pubs. This is another great pub, John Keogh's. And this is fantastic. Now this tradition here in this pub is, you'll see later on here on Thursday after work, the street here will just be full of people, if not up to like 500 people on the street drinking, because the bar itself isn't that big, it isn't that large. It doesn't hold a lot of people inside, so people typically drink outside, especially during the summer months. So Thursday and Friday evenings, it's only 3:30 here or 3:45 here at the moment, or about 4 o'clock, I don't know what time it is, but anyway, 10 minutes to 4, whatever it is. But come 5 o'clock, when people get off work, this place will be absolutely jam full of people. But Friday's the big night. Thursday's big as well, but Friday's a huge night. So let's move on. So we are going up to Harry Street right here, named after Harry Dawson. His brother Joshua Dawson designed and built all this area that you see on this tour today. Grafton Street, Dawson Street, where St. Anne's Church is on, named after him, that street. So all of these streets he designed and built. His brother was Harry Dawson, so this street coming up, this Harry Street, named after him. Now you'll see these ladies selling the flower ladies right here, and they have been selling, their family have been selling flowers here on Grafton Street for over 150 years, folks. 150 years. They're at a couple of different locations on Grafton Street, but as I say, selling flowers here for over 150 years, the same family. How about that? Let me show you a couple of places of interest right here on this street, Harry Street. This is the great Phil Lynott. I'm sure you've heard of this guy. He was the lead singer and founder of the great band Thin Lizzy, famous for Whiskey in the Jar, The Boys Are Back in Town, Jailbreak, just to mention a few tunes. They were absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately for poor old Phil Lynott, he was a fantastic guy, a brilliant performer. But he died very young at the age of 36, as he was a heavy drinker and a heavy drug user. I guess it's going to take its toll in the end. But there would never have been a U2 if there wasn't Phil Lynott, as these were the original rockers here in Dublin. Tin Lizzy, Phil Lynott, lead singer. This is Purcell's, and this is another famous pub, like all the pubs and bars off of Grafton Street, as I said before. And this one has a very late license. So this place, I love Tin Lizzy, says Alison, great stuff. So this Purcell's has a 3 o'clock license, where most of the bars off of Grafton Street will close around 12:30 at night and so forth. This one stays open till 3 o'clock. So everybody comes here, especially at weekends, they'll come here about 1:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning because they spend the next 2 hours right here in this establishment. There's like 4 bars. There's 3 bars downstairs, 1 upstairs. They got fantastic music in the place as well. The reason why Phil Lynnett's statue is there is he used to perform right here in Brussels back in the early days. He would have also busked on the street here in Grafton Street as well as Bono and the boys from U2, Sinead O'Connor, all the great Irish musicians at some time or other. It's a great 5-star hotel, the Westbury, right here. This is the fashionable part, as I say, of Dublin. As I said before, this tour is called Grafton Street, Dublin's most fashionable street. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. The decor in this hotel is just sensational. So, I want to talk to you about another pub. I hope you like pubs, folks, because I know we're talking a lot about pubs. So this right here is McDade's, dating back to 1779. Very old pub. Once again, all the pubs off of Grafton Street are literary pubs where a lot of literary folks used to drink. There's a very well-known man Irish writer called Brendan Behan. Some of you may have heard him before, others may not, but he was a great writer. He was a poet, he was a playwright, even a songwriter. But he was an out-of-control alcoholic, this fella. And he used to work for a publication right around the corner on number 30 Grafton Street, but he never went into the offices. He did all his writings in this pub, McDade's, because he maintained that the drink opened up his brainwaves and helped him to be more creative. Now, as I mentioned, he was imprisoned on many occasions for being drunk and disorderly on the streets of Dublin. He was also a Republican, a rebel, and got into a lot of fights and all that kind of stuff as well, especially with the authorities. So he's in prison many times in Dublin's largest prison, which is Mountjoy Prison. And whilst there, he wrote his most famous play from that experience, and it was called The Queer Fella. Now, anybody want to hear a story? I need to see some reaction here. If you want to hear a story, folks, and if you're Canadian, you're going to really like this story. So this is all for you all Canadians. If you want to hear a nice story, give me a thumbs up. I'm getting no response yet. Okay, Natalie, great. Paddy's Canadian. Catherine, are you Canadian, Catherine, or are you American? Doesn't matter. This story is for everybody. So, yes, you want to hear this story. So this is the story, folks. So Brendan Behan was a hilarious character. He was an out-of-control alcoholic, but he's extremely talented. He had this story that he wrote called, or play that he wrote called The Queer Fella. Now, The Queer Fella was being performed all over the world, like in smaller theatres, like off-Broadway, New York, Toronto, Canada, London, Paris, Dublin, and what have you. And he used to like to go to watch the performance of his plays. Alison's Canadian as well. Catherine's English. Okay, Catherine. My friends are from Canada, says Natalie. Great stuff. So, for this purpose, it's a Canadian story. So, anyway, he used to like to go watch the performance of his plays in the different parts of the world that was being performed. And one time he's in Toronto, Canada. These people are very loud beside me, so I have to speak a little louder. So, one time he's in Toronto, Canada to supposedly go and watch his play, the performance of his play that night. But as an alcoholic, he goes into a pub early during the day, and by that evening he's drunk out of his mind. And this Canadian reporter comes up to him and says to him, Mr. Bean, I've been searching every pub in Toronto for you, and here I find you in this pub and you're drunk out of your mind. Telling me, what brings you all the way to Toronto to be sitting in a pub drinking all day? And with that, Bean turns to him, he says, well, it's like this. I was in a pub in Dublin about 3 weeks ago, and I looked out the window, and there was this neon sign, and it was flashing, and it said, drink Canada dry. So that's what I'm doing. I hope you like that story, folks. I hope you got it. Drink Canada dry. Yeah, he was a fierce character, he was. He actually, he died at the age of 41, very young. He collapsed in a pub one time and died a couple of days later. Maybe alcoholic poison. Laughing at a good one, says Susan. Great, your Satyam likes it too. Great stuff. At least 2 people liked it. Oh, Alison liked it as well. Catherine liked it. Great stuff, folks. It's all good. It's all good. More buskers right here, folks. You want to see this place at weekends. Now, it's not so busy during the week for buskers, but during the weekends, it's absolutely mobbed full of buskers. There's just loads and loads of them all over the place. Here's these women again selling these flowers from the same family. There are 3 locations around Grafton Street, on the street. 150 years, same family, selling the great flowers. Laughing out loud, Alison and Natalie. More buskers up here. You'll see in the distance, you'll see this arch. It's called Fusilier's Arch, and that is one of the entrances into St. Stephen's Green Park, a beautiful city park. In my opinion, one of the nicest city parks in the world. I do tours there. I did one there about a month ago or so on YouTube, but I will do it again. It's absolutely gorgeous park. Susan, when you come, Patty will tell you how nice it is. She was here just a month ago and she went into the park. It really is lovely. Beautiful pond, a couple of ponds in there, beautiful Victorian gardens, what have you. Oh, this guy is doing magic.
On top of the unicycle. But everyone's got to believe, okay? Otherwise this doesn't work. So it's happy thoughts, everyone. It's like a Peter Pan kind of moment going to happen. It's beautiful. Right. To make sure that everybody is clapping at the same time, everybody watch my feet.
It's too crowded. The guy's very, very good. That guy, he's a magician. He's brilliant. It's fantastic. So we're on the side street once again. This is, by the way, is the beautiful St. Stephen's Green shopping centre. It's more of an Art Deco type of shopping centre. It really is beautiful. It's nice. Oh, it's a beautiful park. I highly recommend it. Yeah, Paddy, it is gorgeous. So this is South King Street that we're on right now, and one of Dublin's most famous theatres is here. That's the Gaiety Theatre right here. And I know Paddy went to see these guys, but performing right now is none other than Riverdance. They are performing here. They're doing a 3-month stint right here. One of the greatest dance troupes in the whole entire world. And during the height of their career in the late 1990s, they probably were the number one dance group in the world. And actually, during the height of their career, as I just mentioned, they had 100 different dance troupes playing all over the world at the same time. That's how big it was. It was a major, massive hit, was Riverdance. Still is today, still going strong. I'm sure you might have seen them in a city where you live, because they play all over the entire world and have done at some time or other. Great show. Seen them a number of times. Seen them in the US a few times. Seen them in Ireland a few times. Absolutely brilliant show. They became famous at the halftime show of the Eurovision Song Contest. Was it 1994 or 1996? I always mix it up. Anyway, there was Ireland hosted the Eurovision Song Contest that year, and the halftime interval during the Eurovision Song Contest, Riverdance comes on for the first time ever on television, and they just blew everybody away. And from that day on, they became absolutely hugely famous across the world. We're making our way. My brother loves Riverdance, says Natalie. And how about you? Do you love it? Yeah, so Paddy was there, a beautiful theatre, amazing show. So much reasonable to see, more than in Toronto. I saw them in the 90s, says Alison. Yeah, it says they've been around since 1994. Ours in 1996, I can't remember. It's Clarendon Row right here. So, we are now approaching the statue of Ireland's greatest ever folk singer as the sun comes out and it's beautiful and warm, and I got this bloody jacket on me. So I'm sweating because it was cold when I started this tour. Just what? 34 minutes ago. Can you believe it? So this is Ireland's greatest ever folk and ballad singer in the traditional sense, a traditional Irish musician. And he was one of the members of the great group, the Dubliners, who were formed in 1962 in a pub called O'Donoghue's, about 500 yards behind me. Very, very famous pub. when all the members of the Dubliners originally were just locals, used to drink in there, and they play a few tunes with their musicians. And then they decided to form the band, and they went all across the world promoting Irish traditional folk and ballad music. As I say, venues across the world became hugely famous. This is Luke Kelly, absolutely amazing musician. Fantastic. Obviously, he's dead now. He died at the age of 43, very young, in 1984 of a brain hemorrhage. But he was just amazing. Now, one of his most famous songs is a song called Raglan Road, which was a song that was originally a poem written by Patrick Kavanagh, probably Ireland's second or third greatest ever poet after William Butler Yeats. And Raglan Road, I say, was a poem, and it was put to music. And Patrick Kavanagh, the author, the poet of this poem, asked in the pub called the Bailey, you might have seen the crossroad from Davy Burns, which I just showed you earlier, and he personally asked Luke Kelly would he sing the song. It is a fabulous song. Raglan Road tells a story of Patrick Kavanagh, who had a fancy for this young girl that lived in his neighbourhood right here in Dublin, and he wrote the song about her. He was in love with her. Check it out on YouTube, folks. Raglan, Raglan Road. R-O-A-D, Rowett, Raglan Road. We are now on South William Street, another great street here in Dublin, full of like lovely little coffee shops, little restaurants, boutiques, pubs, you name it. Pink restaurant. Pink is becoming a pretty popular colour here in Dublin. I want to show you here one of my very favourite coffee shops coming up here in Dublin. As I said before, Dublin has just a plethora, tons and tons of coffee shops all over the place. But this is one of my very favourites. It's called Clement and Pico. See all the people standing outside it? Look, that's how popular it is. I'll give you a better view of it right here. They sell all their own coffees and teas from all over the world and stuff as well. But a cup of coffee in here is fantastic. It's brilliant. You will love it. So, Susan, when you're here, check it out. I love it too, Dave, says Natalie. I'm assuming that's Riverdance. Yes, indeed, she does. That's right, she said our brother loves it. She loves it too. Great stuff. This street, give it another hour or so, will be just full of people after they get off work, drinking and partying, knowing that they only have one day left of the week before the weekend. So a lot of people do some serious drinking on a Thursday, and they have a very sore head going to work on a Friday. But Friday, a lot of times in Ireland, is a dust day. A dust day meaning a mess day. They don't get a lot of work done, knowing that they're off for the weekend and so forth, you know. So, not a lot of production on a Friday. So, here, once again, I know I'm talking about loads of pubs. Can't help it. That's what we're known for here in this country, is pubs. It's a tradition, and they're all very, very well maintained, very well looked after, and the owners have a lot of pride in the pubs. This is Grogan's, absolutely fabulous pub. What made this pub famous, or what it's famous for, is its artwork. So this is frequented by local artists, and the reason why they come here is the owner here lets the artists sell their paintings right off the wall of the pub, all around the walls of the pub. And Paddy will tell you this, because myself, Paddy, and her sister Mary, we actually came in here for a pint. Now, what it's also really famous for as well is this toasty. It's cheese, ham and cheese toasted sandwich, called a toasty as we call them, and they're world famous for their toasties. It is absolutely fabulous. It's amazing, and it's good soakage because they don't do any food in here except for their toasty. And we had a toasty, didn't we, Paddy? I don't know if Paddy's still on here, but maybe she is. But we had a nice toasty, and we had so yes, lovely place, and the toasty was amazing, and we had some good pints in here as well. It was fantastic. So that's Grogan's pub, very famous, world famous for its toasty, ham and cheese toasted sandwich. The only food that they do. It's a drinking establishment more than a food establishment. but frequented, as I said, by artists who are allowed to sell their paintings right off the walls of the pub. So you pick a painting off the wall and you go up to the counter and pay for it and take it home with you. Now, we're going in here, folks. This is beautiful. This is the Parish Court Townhouse Centre. It's an old building, as you see right here. It dates back to 1774. It's absolutely gorgeous inside. And it's only been a shopping centre since 1982, but there was actually a townhouse that belonged to Sir Richard Wingfield, who also owned Parish Court House and Gardens out in County Wicklow, which you've probably seen on some of my tours before. I've been there a good few times. They're the third most beautiful gardens in the world. But the same guy that owned that also owned this. This was his townhouse. The other one would have been his country manor. And let's go in and take a look here, folks. It's beautiful. And the entrance is really great because there's a beautiful flower shop as you walk in. It's really nice. But there's one particular spot I want to show you here. Myself and Paddy came in here as well. It is just beautiful. These are designer products by some of the... How you doing? How are you? How's it going? I didn't ask for permission, so there might be... I think them people work here. They were just looking at me strangely. But how about this restaurant, folks? Isn't it beautiful? Have a look at the name. It's called The Little Pig. And if you look at the interior here, they've kept it the way... they kept it the original interior of the house. Really is spectacular. Beautiful. They sell a lot of Irish themed products in here. They got art galleries, Irish jewellery, Irish art, Irish pottery and ceramics and what have you. Irish woolen goods. There's lots and lots of shops in there. I just showed you a little, tiny little part of it. Let's move on. Let me see if there's any lovely place. Okay, that was an old one. I'll tell you, it's so delayed with the chat. The chat in Hago would come straight at you, and you couldn't follow it because there were so many people commenting at the same time. Where it's the complete opposite here on YouTube, where it probably takes about 30 seconds or more for the chat to come in. So when you post something, I don't see it for about 30 seconds or more, maybe even a minute. Yeah, Paddy remembers taking start. Yeah, it was brilliant. So right in front of us here is Dublin's oldest indoor market, indoor shopping centre. It's called Georgia Street Arcade, and there's like 144 shops or stalls. There's a lot of stalls and there's a lot of shops. It's in an old Victorian building. It's beautiful. And there's one particular shop or store, as you guys say in the US and Canada. There's one particular store that I want to show you that's very unique, and it's got a lot of Irish themed products. Say hello, folks. Say hello. Oh, maybe they're shy. Okay, so we'll show you right here. This is the store I want to show you. All Irish themed products. And have a look at this one. I'll show you this particular one. Have a look at this reg plate. The one to the left. Pogamahoin. Pogmothhoin. That is the Irish word for kiss my ass. So how about getting a nice registration plate like that, putting it on your car, on your vehicle, and you're telling people behind you to kiss your ass. Kiss my ears. Pogamahoin. Feckin' Egypt. That's another real popular saying here in Ireland. It just means you stupid fool. If you're out with a friend and he does something stupid, you call him a feckin' Egypt. Stupid fool. Or if he says something stupid, the same thing. Also, you can use, if you don't like feckin' Egypt, you can also use gobshite, which means the exact same thing. Gobshite, stupid fool. If they did something stupid or said something stupid. Gobshite and feckin' Egypt. How about that? I hope we don't have any gobshites or feckin' Egypts on here, folks. Please say hi to the nice lady at the know. Oh, you bought the rings. Beautiful. Yeah, so Paddy, further up. I don't think we'll have time to do that now, but I will say hello to her. I did say hello to her the last day, yeah. So Paddy brought this beautiful, for her daughter. She bought a beautiful cladder ring. And at this shop right there, they have upstairs, they have their manufacturing, where they're manufactured actually manufactured the rings. So 100% authentic Irish rings, lots of claddagh rings. And Paddy bought one for her daughter. Very, very nice. I will say hello to her for you, Paddy. No problem. Now we're making our way back towards Powers Court. Here's a lovely view of it. It dates back to 1774, this building. It is spectacular. So it's only been a shopping centre since 1982, but it really is lovely. As we walk down further, 45 minutes. Where does the time go to, folks? 45 minutes already. It just seems like 20 minutes to me. Not even that. But it just rolls on. Time flies when you're having fun. A lot of great hair salons around here too. A lot of upmarket hair salons on the street. We're coming down here to a spot that I want to show you. Another very famous coffee shop. I know we talked about Bewley's earlier, which is by far and away the most famous and the most talked about landmark as regards coffee shops or cafes in Dublin. But this one right here has got a great history to it as well, although more of a modern history. And that's Butler's Chocolate Cafe that you see right here. As the sun is blazing, it's beautiful out right now, and I'm sweating because I'm wearing a jacket. Can you believe it? It was drizzling when I started and it was cold, and now it's lovely. So this is Butler's Chocolate Cafe right here, folks. And this is a great marketing story, if I like. It happened in 1998, so Butler's, they have a factory, chocolate factory, and they weren't selling too many chocolates. So they decided they need to get some exposure for their chocolates, get people to buy more of their chocolates. So they decided to open up a coffee shop, and this is the very first one they opened, right here on the corner of South William Street and Wicklow Street. And they decided to open it up, and not only did our chocolates start flying off the shelves, because they sell the box of chocolates right off the street, right off the shelves, but their coffee and their teas are selling like crazy as well. So successful was it that today they have about 40 or 50 stores all over Ireland. Most of them are in the Dublin area, of course, with the suburbs of Dublin and in the city here in Dublin. Hugely successful coffee chain, Butler's. And they have still their chocolate factory today is like a museum as well, where you can go and visit. It's out in North Dublin, Dublin 15, Clonshock is the name of the area, and you can go visit their chocolate factory and see how the process works of how they make their chocolates. I'm just going to put my camera inside the door just to show you. I was here for a cup of coffee earlier. I met a friend of mine here, and I hadn't seen her for a while, so it was a bit of fun we had before I started the show. You'll see some of the chocolates on the shelves right here. See, lovely, and all over the place. You see them this side here too. It's beautifully presented, great presentation. My kind of store, says Susan. So Susan, you can come here when you get here. I love the white chocolate ones, they have the berries. Now this is also the only chocolate, or the only cafe or coffee shop, if you like, in Dublin, where not only do you get your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, you get a piece of chocolate with your cup of tea or your cup of coffee, and you have your choice of about 60 different chocolates. How about that? This is the International Bar. Once again, another incredibly famous bar, but it's known for its comedy shows. Established in 1838, but a well-known comedy event right here. You go downstairs in the bar, and what's great about this, some of the world's greatest comedians have been here at some time or other. And what they do is they will try out their new material before they go live to a much bigger audience. They'll play it to a very small audience of maybe 100 people, just to get a feel about their new material before they go on to stadium shows and everything else, or big arenas or whatever. So how about that, folks? And it used to be free to go watch these comedy nights. Today I think it's €5 or €10, but it used to be free back in the day. I remember it when it was free. Not only was it free, they give you a little tub of ice cream as well. If you're a vegan, you don't eat meat, this right here is Cornucopia. How you doing there? This is Cornucopia. This is the most famous vegan restaurant, whole food restaurant in Dublin, established in 1986. I'm not a vegan myself, but I tell you, some of my friends are, and they brought me here one time, and I was like, wow, I might have to changed my ways. It was so good. This is Murphy's handmade ice cream, originally from Dingle in County Kerry. Today they got lots of locations all across major cities in Ireland. It is an absolutely fabulous. They've all kinds of different flavours of the ice cream. You can get it in a cone or you can get it in a tub. Let's just show you some of the flavours they have in here. Handmade flavours. You got Dingle sea salt. Huh? Yes. Say hello to the world. Say hello to the world. Hello, everybody. We're in the famous Murphy's ice cream shop. Raspberry, mango, Irish brown bread. Look at that Irish brown bread. Honeycomb, caramel, Kieran's cookies, peanut butter, butterscotch, Dingle gin, chocolate whiskey. You got them all here. Smooth chocolate, brownie. Can't beat it, folks. If you like ice cream, this is the place to come. This is Louis Copeland's and Sons. These are Ireland's greatest soup makers, or tailors if you like. And there's 4 generations of Louis Copeland. So Louis Copeland, the first, second, third, they're on the 4th Louis Copeland right now. And his son, his name is also Louis Copeland, so he'll be taking over Louis Copeland's. Now they've got lots of locations all across Dublin. They probably have about 15 locations. And they are by far and away the most famous soup makers in all of Dublin, if not the whole country. Yeah, all of Ireland for sure. Louis Copeland and Sons. They've been around for, say, 5 generations or whatever, or 5. They're on their 5th line of, and they're all the men that have run these shops. Their name is Louis Copeland, so they never had to change the name of the shop, because the first Louis Copeland named his son Louis Copeland. The second Louis Copeland named his son Louis Copeland. The third Louis Copeland named his son Louis Copeland. The 4th Louis Copeland named his son Louis Copeland. So there you go, the generations of Louis Copeland. I love the white chocolate ones they have with the berries. I like it, Alison. I like it a lot. Who said that? I like it a lot. That is a phrase from a movie, or from a few different movies. Oh, I like it a lot. Very diverse, with their French restaurant right there. You got lots of different international shops and restaurants all around Dublin. Folks, coming to that time where I'm at the end of this tour. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, folks, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. You'll see the link in the description. Also, if you want to help me out and you enjoyed the tour, I do accept buy me a coffee or PayPal. So my links to my PayPal and my links to buy me a coffee are in the description. If you'd like to help me out, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it. If not, no problem. We'll catch you the next time. Now, also, this Monday, I think I will going to be doing a tour. I haven't posted it yet or nothing, but I'm looking to go, if I can get time, I'm looking to go to the beautiful Botanic Gardens in Glasnevin in Dublin. They're absolutely spectacular gardens. They're beautiful. There's loads of lovely greenhouses. There's even a tropical greenhouse with all tropical plants and all that. There's a herbaceous border there as well. It's fabulous. It's an absolutely beautiful place. Some wonderful trees, beautiful plants, a lovely, lovely gardens, the botanical gardens. So I hope you can make it for that. I will post it maybe today or tomorrow for next Monday. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like to everyone. Yeah. So when Paddy says like, it means subscribe. Now, if you've already subscribed to my channel, do not press on that button to subscribe. Otherwise, you will unsubscribe, and that way I'll have minus a subscriber. So only press the subscribe button if you have not subscribed previously to my channel. Appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to spread the word, you can share my YouTube tours with anybody, any of your friends. If you want to, all you do is copy the link and send it on to your friends. Then they can subscribe that way too, and that way I'll have a lot more. I'm just a little over, I think I'm 250 to go to reach the 1,000, the magic 1,000 subscribers. So I need your help if you can spread the word send it on to other people. Looking forward to the tour. Great stuff, Susan. Fantastic. Thank you, Catherine. Alison, thank you so much. Poppy, thank you. So, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Poppy. Great stuff. Alison, cool. Okay, Phil. Hi, Phil. Thank you, Dave. I love your tours. Thank you, Phil. Phil Gromer. Great name. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, folks. Look, thank you, Natalie. So, folks, we'll see you again. Maybe Monday. Thanks very much for coming on. It was great doing this tour for you. I just wish the numbers were bigger. I wish that more people participate in these YouTube tours. It's just, I mean, a tiny fraction of what we used to see on Hagel. But I guess that's why there's not many people doing that many YouTube tours. Probably some of the other guys get a lot more people on their tours than I do. But I hope if you can share it, that way it gets exposure. So these tours will reach a lot more people that way. This girl's good. Thanks, Paddy. She's got a good voice, really good. Folks, I'll leave you here with this nice lady singing a lovely tune. And we'll see you again soon, folks. Please share this video and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends about this channel so we can get more people involved. And we'll see you again soon, folks. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you so much.